So this is another one on the root chakra, Muladhara chakra, which is all about grounding. So just a reminder that when we are grounded, we feel more safe, feel more secure. Muladhara chakra is about stability and structure. And it's also about balance, because if we have too much structure, as we see in the world today, we overconsume, we become greedy, we become over materialistic. But equally, if we don't have enough structure, we don't feel we're in our body, and we can float away and feel very depersonalized. So it's about coming home to the body and being much more in the present moment. So all that we're doing here is to help support you with that. So I'd like to start by asking you to come to a comfortable sitting position. And because we're talking about structure, just take a moment or two to be aware of your structure, your spine, your hips, your feet, how that feels. And think about your posture. So we want to think about maybe opening up our rib cage so we're not crushing down on our diaphragm. And if we think about the tailbone and the crown of the head, we can think about making space between those 2 points. Think about the jaw and relax the jaw. Soften around the eyes. And then just take a moment or two to explore how your physical structure is right now. Now, usually when I do the check-in, I add how you are mentally, how you are emotionally. But just for now, I just want you to focus on your physical being. But I want you to do this with kindness and compassion. So if there's pain or weakness, don't try and judge it. Just try to bring tenderness to it and acceptance. So we're allowing everything to be as it is. And I also just want to say that when we talk about being grounded, we have to actually work on this. It's not something that happens naturally. So we have to be careful where we put our attention, what we're doing, what we're inputting, which is why I'm always going on about not watching the news, because that can unground us. So it's all about this sense of coming back to ourselves. So I'd like you just to either take the back of your hands around the base of the spine. So this is the Muladhara area, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, you can rest your hands on your heart. So just think about what feels most comfortable. And we're just going to start by doing a little bit of chanting to our root chakra. So we're going to again use the seed mantra, which is YUM. We did this a couple of weeks ago. So we would spell it Y-A-M, but we pronounce it Y slightly with a U-M, like a YUM. So we'll do this as call and response. I'll chant to you and you chant back. And I'd like you just to visualize this space around the base of the spine. Om Yum Yum Yum. Om Yum Yum Yum. Om Yum Yum Yum. Take a moment or two just to feel the vibration and energy of the mantra. And feel below the waist that gravity is helping you to sink downwards. And then drop your hands. And again, think about your structure. think it's interesting that we're doing Muladhara chakra at the time where we're still in, if you're into astrology, we're still in the energy of Capricorn, which is very much about earthing and structure, but we will be moving out of that. But it means as the planets move, we need to stay calm and grounded with whatever is going on in the world around us. We stay in our body. So again, just thinking about your structure, feel that you are like a tree, a big old oak tree with a strong, gnarly trunk, which is your spine. And this is supporting you. So your hips and feet are supporting you, and your spine is strong and is supporting you. And then I'm going to give you an affirmation, which I'd like you to repeat silently to yourself as I say it. And you can take your hand again to your heart as you say this. And the affirmation is, I am strong. I am balanced. I am stable. I have courage. You can say it out loud if you would prefer. We're going to do that once more. I am strong. I am balanced. I am stable. I have courage. We're going to do that once more with some gestures, so you can look at your screen if you would like to do this with me. But if not, just keep your eyes closed and say it again. So we're going to start with, I am strong. I am balanced. I am stable. I have courage. Remember, courage comes from the heart. Once more, I am strong. I am balanced. I am stable. I have courage. And now drop your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and just feel somatically how those affirmations make you feel. And if you feel nothing, that's fine too. Nothing, everything is allowed, everything is accepted, but just tune in. And then become aware of your breath. And if it's comfortable for you, begin to slow the breath down. Breathe through the nose if you can, but nothing should be forced. And then we're going to take one hand to the heart, the other just below the belly button. And we're going to breathe into the hand that's on below the navel. So the hand on the heart is pacifying that chest area, keeping it relatively still. The breath is directed into the lower hand. And just for a moment or two, I'd like you to focus on a long, smooth exhalation. So inhale is free, exhalation, long and smooth. And as you breathe like this, I just want to add in something more. On the email I sent out on Saturday, I sent out an interview with Stephen Levy, who is he's a Buddhist who studies quantum mechanics and quantum theory. And what he was saying, in essence, is what we give our attention to is what we create. What we give our attention to is what we create. So in this session, we're giving our attention to grounding and being stable. But this is another reason to think about what we input into our system, which helps us to be grounded, what activities we do and what we don't do. And then release your hands back down to your knees. We're going to come down to lying in a minute, but we're just going to do one more sequence. to help us with grounding. So I'd like you to think about your feet, bring your awareness to your feet. Just feel you're inhabiting your feet and just observe the texture of what you're wearing, what you're touching, the temperature, any vibration. And then bring your awareness to your hips and your bottom and the surface you're sitting on. And again, be aware of what's covering your hips, the texture, whether you're warm or cold there, the surface you're sitting on, whether it's hard or soft. Are there any sensations or vibrations? And just spend a moment or two being in your hips. And then I'd like you to choose one of these 2 points, either your feet or your hips. So just take a few seconds to decide which one you're going to focus on. And when you've chosen that, bring all your awareness there. And I'd like you, on your out breath, to feel that you're letting go through those points on your out breath. So on your exhalation, you are releasing down and out, either through your feet or through your hips. If the mind wanders, bring it back to the sensation of either the hips or the feet. Feel yourself releasing through on that exhalation. Try and keep just in the present moment. And then I'd like you to imagine that from the point that you selected, which is either the feet or the hips, you have got red roots, and these are going down, down, down through your chair, whatever you're sitting on, through your floor, through your building, into the earth below. And I'd like you to imagine that it's a red taproot, but it's bright light, so it's lit up. It's a lit up, bright red taproot going down, down. And again, on your exhalation, this is taking out anything you no longer want to hold on to on your out breath, but it's also stabilizing you. So feel it really ground and root you down. And as you do this, just remember that when we're working with this chakra, it's about stability, strength. It's about our boundaries as well, because we can only set boundaries when we feel stronger and in our own power. And it's strengthening our foundation. It's strengthening our structure. And then when you're ready, come back to your body, release that visualization. And I'm going to invite you to come to lying. Before you do, I just want you to have a quick look at your screen, because there's another tip I want to give you. If I feel I need grounding, and I sometimes do this in a yoga practice, or if I'm doing a yoga nidra, I quite often hold one or more stones in my hand, and that can help me to feel secure. So that's just another kind of hack, if you like. Just holding onto a stone or a crystal can make you feel really earthed. So with that said, please come down to a comfortable lying position. And of course, if you want to remain seated, that's fine. And as always, you have the choice of lying on the floor, on your back in the classic Shavasana posture, Or if you would rather lie on a bed or a sofa, that's also absolutely fine. So take a moment or two to come back into your body. You've just been transitioning. So allow yourself to just explore how the body feels in this position and be aware of the ground underneath you holding you. Whatever you're lying on, just be aware of that support. And take a moment or two just to explore this relationship you have with your support, with gravity. Can you trust it? Trust is another word associated with this chakra. Can you relax and begin to release and let go into your support? And if you feel you have already let go, just try to let go maybe a little bit more.